QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022 OneNote presentation, Pay Bill. Let's get into it with Intuit's QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022. If you have access to OneNote, would like to follow along, icon left-hand side, topic introduction 7240 bill pay tab. Also take a look at the immersive reader tool, topic introductions in the text area too. Same name, same number, but with transcripts. Transcripts that can be translated into multiple languages and either listened to or read in them. Same name and number as presentations as well. Topic introductions designed to give an introduction to the topic, provide screenshots, links where applicable, give accounting background to complement the presentations, and can be used to follow along with them if you don't have access to the software at that time. Closing the icon on the left-hand side, we're starting off with the home page screenshot. We're looking at the bill item, and now we're going to go to the pay bill item. Now in the following section, we're going to enter more of our transactions through the bill form as opposed to paying them with the check. This time, however, we have a bill that was input. It was put into place when we entered the beginning balances for the accounts payable. That's the bill which we're going to be paying off. When we hit the pay bill and pay the bill in this format, we in essence are writing a check. In other words, a form that's going to be decreasing the checking account, but the other side is going to be going to accounts payable, decreasing the accounts payable as well as the subledger of the vendor that we owe the money to. So if we go to the trial balance, we're going to have a decrease to the checking account, just like a check type of form. The other side is going to go to this accounts payable of the $15,000 at this point in time, that representing that we owe somebody money. Here it is in the balance sheet format. There's the $15,000 that we're focused in on at this point. If we double click on it, we can see that we entered that in with a bill, although we didn't actually enter it in this case as a bill. We entered it in as a beginning balance for the vendors when we first set up our vendors and our beginning balances. If you go into the vendor center, you can also track your bills and information in this format. I believe if we went down to Epiphone, that's the bill or the person that has the bill right here, the $15,000. We can also go to the transactions tab and go to the bills here. We could sort by the open bills if we so choose, and that's one way that we can sort our bills to determine which we want to pay. And we can also go to, on the home page, the pay bills section, and it's got this layout of where the bills would be lined up that we can then sort, and we can sort by the due date. We can hit filters, and we can filter in various ways as well to sort the bills that we need to pay. We can check off multiple bills if we had multiple bills, and we will have multiple bills in the following month, but we only have the one bill at this point in time. And then if we had any bill relief number, we could go to the bill here, the bill reference number, and we could set the discount if that was applicable. And then the total credits available, we could set the credits if that was applicable. Not applicable here. The payment date is going to be 1/26. That's the date of the check. The method could be the check. And then that's going to be a form that will be decreasing the checking account, but it's be a special form in this case, in that it's going to be the other side going to accounts payable. And that will be noted within the QuickBooks detail, which is nice because it gives you that added assurance about or more specific information on what's happening. And so you could then print the checks, which would mean you would have to put the checks actually in the printer. You'd have to have the physical checks that you'd put into the printer, and then we would process the checks in that way. Or you could simply assign the check number if there was a check number, or possibly if you had no check numbers and you were just basically doing electronic transfers and entering the data in this format as well. So then if we go to the trial balance, after we process, then the checking account's going to go down. The other side's going to be in the accounts payable, now going down to 0. Here, if we go into the actual check, it looks like a check. If I double click on it, it doesn't take us back to that pay bill form, but the bottom of the check specifically says bills paid in this transaction, and it's showing you that it's a pay bill type of form down there. So it's a decrease to the checking account, looks like a check, but it's a specific check that's paying off a bill, and therefore if you want to know what we actually purchased, you would need to go to the bill to determine that typically. So if we go back to the balance sheet, we're on the balance sheet here. There's the accounts payable back on down to 0. If I go then to the vendor center and go to the bills and look at the open bills, there aren't any because we just paid it off at this point. Let's take a look at this with journal entries. This is our starting point, where we have the accounts payable on the books at the $15,000. We're going to pay the bill. This is the journal entry behind the pay bill kind of form. you would be debiting the accounts payable, decreasing it, and crediting the checking account going down, and the accounts payable going down. Looking at the general ledger, the checking account was at the 109,570, went down by the 15,000 to the 94,570, and the accounts payable was at 15,000, goes down by 15,000 to 0. We also need the sub ledger, breaking this information out by who we owe. We owed Epiphone 15,000. We paid them 15,000. We owe them nothing now. And if we add up all the nothings that we owe all of our vendors, that adds up to 0, which of course matches out what's on the general ledger and the trial balance at this point in time, in a similar way as the accounts payable broken out by vendor, or the vendor summary report, would tie out to what is on the trial balance or financial statements in QuickBooks.